Great presentation, by the way. I'm Brian Norgard, founder of Namesake. This is Daniel Gold, my co-founder. We'd like to introduce Namesake to the world today. Thank you very much. We've built 3 companies. Nuru, which was acquired by News Corp in 2006. Adly, the leader in in-stream advertising. And now, Namesake. Much like many of you in this audience, as creators, we know the pain associated with building a business. You're looking to hire. You're looking to be hired. You're looking for an introduction or maybe an expert. This is hard work. So what do? We ask the people we trust. Namesake is a community for sharing business opportunities and knowledge. We take the power of your social graph, meaning Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and couple it with our real-time infrastructure to make publishing, routing, and matching happen like magic. Now, before we get into the presentation, I'm going to leave you with one thought. Markets are about matching supply with demand. Let us show you now, for the first time, in real time, how Namesake makes this happen like magic. Daniel?
OK, let's take a look at Namesake. The start page looks like a stream. It is. It's your business cockpit, focused around your business graph. But while what you see on the screen looks like an ordinary stream, it's far more than a business Twitter. One of our beta customers said we've made it 10 times more useful for him. The core difference is our stream's ability to route business opportunities. So take a look here. It says in the stream, Jeff Flitt was hired by Namesake. In fact, we hired him on Namesake. So let's take a step back and see how it was done. Now, Namesake is all about using your business graph to route business opportunities. By that, I mean we use the stream to match you with the experts, the jobs, and the services that you're looking for. So let's look at one common type of business opportunity, hiring. Right? How many of you have ever tried to hire a developer? I expect a lot more hands, right? Would you go to Google and maybe type, who's an amazing Python developer I should hire in the search box? Expect a few laughs here, yeah. Right? It doesn't work. Likewise, LinkedIn's a fantastic social Rolodex, but that's about the extent of it. I know what all of you do. You ask the people you trust. Namesake pumps this process up on steroids. So I'm going to show you how we do it. Instead of posting a regular stream item here, as you see it's on update, I'm going to click over to opportunity. Now let's take a look. The opportunity panel's lit out. Let's take a look at how we post an opportunity. Well, first I'm going to say what type of opportunity. And we said a Python developer, so that's a full-time opportunity. Then I'm going to write a little description. Then I'll add a headline, paste that in. Back-end Python developer for scaling an early-stage startup. Then I'll type the location. Namesake is in Los Angeles, California. We'll type some relevant skills. Well, they're going to need to know Python, Redis, and Cassandra. Now, what we're doing is we're giving the system some cues so its smart routing algorithms can figure out who gets it. Now, it goes to all of my contacts and followers, plus these experts, but I can also call out a few people who really we think should get it and should get explicit notifications. So I'll add Rohit Kare and Naval Ravikant. OK? And now I'll hit post. Now, what it's doing is it's going out across my graph using our smart routing algorithm. Whoa, wait. You see, Joyce Kim just routed that to her network. So other people are seeing it in their stream and sending it along to other people who they think are relevant. That's what you're seeing in those comment notifications. Now we're getting a few more notifications coming in. Well, Michael Cyrilnik just saw it on his stream and applied for that full-time job. Jeff Flitt just saw that and applied for that job. Mike Viamari. So they're all seeing this in their stream, and in real time, we're getting notified that they're applying or responding to this opportunity. So now let's click through and take a look at the opportunity page itself. The opportunity page collected all of those applications. Normally, we'd use the messaging system to message back and forth about it. But here I'm just going to say we choose Jeff for the opportunity. And voila, another opportunity matched on Namesake. Now what I'm going to do is jump back to the stream for a second. Because you saw it from the creator who's posting the opportunity side, we want to look at it from someone who's using the site day to day. So I see things starting to appear in my stream. Nivi routed me an opportunity. We're seeing all these opportunities appear. So let's load what's going on in the stream. I see Scott Herf looking for an angel for a gaming company, and that was routed to me by Nivi. Then I see another opportunity that was posted. Adam Rifkin is looking for experts in natural language search. Now, what I can do is help them out by routing things. So I'm going to pop open the route dialog and route it to a few relevant people. We'll send it to Dave McClure, to Jeff Clavier, and to Jim Pitko, and send it out. How easy was that? We managed to hook them up in seconds. Now, it turns out that the other thing we've done to make it really easy is that we have the ability to apply for these things in line, to apply, or if it's the relevant opportunity, to make introductions. So right here in line, turns out I know something about natural language search. So I'll write something, I build Neuro, choose NLP, so on, and send it right here in line. So we've made it ultra easy for them to do that. Now, the feeds and opportunity routing is not all it's about. Now, the business graph is about trust, right? And the first piece of trust online is identity. So let's find someone's profile. I'll click over to Peter Pham's profile. Everyone here knows Peter, right? Now, it's a beautiful business profile. You know, all the standard stuff you'd expect, recent feed items, information, their contacts, their followers, videos, work history, so on. But the interesting bit here is that Peter declared some of his expertise. He said he's an expert at entrepreneurship, running startups, and so on. What I'm going to do is endorse him as an expert. So I'm going to say Peter's an expert in business development. I'll actually write a little description of it and say, Peter not only made the sale of PhotoBucket happen, but his amazing biz dev skills make him a great CEO. And bam, sent. There it is. Finally, we're building out the business expertise graph, the key component in commerce for real. Now, we have other types of endorsements.
Which you're going to have to talk about if you come back, because we're out of time.
Okay.
So round of applause for Namesake.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure you'll find a way to wedge it into the question. So who wants to jump in first? Go for it.
So I love the problem you're solving, because I think one of the challenges every company faces is how to find phenomenal people. Obviously, LinkedIn is in this market space, and people have spent a lot of time and effort populating their LinkedIn profile. I'd love to ask you guys and Keith how you think you defend against LinkedIn putting functionality like this in their platform.
So there's actually a key component here. We think LinkedIn has done an amazing job building out the business graph. Thank you, Keith. It's a key component of our identity. So one of the things you'll see is hover cards that have your Twitter identity, your Facebook identity, and your LinkedIn identity. So what we're saying is we're kind of trying to draft off of a lot of the value that they've created. Is Keith's microphone working?
Can I ask my usual, how do you make money while he's...
Sure.
I'll lean in behind you.
Yep. So in terms of making money from this, there are actually sort of three main areas. First thing we always ask ourselves in any situation is, what would Google do, right? And they would say, how do you maximize performance in anything? So, you know, we would say performance-based matching, and we have a lot of ideas around it that we don't want to get too deeply into.
Which one?
The second bit is, or if you want to borrow my mic, if you look at LinkedIn, they're doing a very substantial amount of revenue around subscriptions. And we think that that is actually, if you build the right services for people, a really valuable thing. Then the third part is Brian's and my background. We've started a bunch of companies in online advertising, and we think this is a great area for very targeted premium advertising.
A pretty rich profile of the user, and I think there would be a great context for matching them with service providers. And so, but that's further down the line. Our focus today is community, community, community.
I just want to push on that for a second, because I wouldn't want to necessarily answer with my profile to a query if I know that that was going to be used for advertisements down the road. I mean, this is a pretty targeted type of search with rich profile data. So I'm just curious about...
So, like, there's privacy implications, of course, and we think there could be situations where you could anonymously apply to a job. But the truth is, everything is tied to identity in our system. So sort of one of the issues is if you're going to apply, you're coming out there with who you are. And that's kind of some of the power for people who are actually looking to, do commerce on here.
Sure.
So what do you tell people the 10-second value proposition is? Because fundamentally, like LinkedIn have this challenge too, which is you get hiring managers and you get job seekers very easily to adopt something like this, but everybody in the middle doesn't really want to be looking for a job, doesn't want to be perceived to be looking for a job, isn't hiring. So what do they get?
I think right out of the gate, though, first off, Keith, as you know, the number one variable to optimize for is building a good community and saying there's other people like you high qualified people, educated people that are looking, seeking, and you don't have to come in explicitly and say, I am actually applying to opportunities. You can come in and just put your expertise and sort of, participate in the community. So I feel like the idea out of the gate of a high-touch sell, like you're there for a job immediately, we want to focus on communication too. So really get you communicating and sharing, and then when the right opportunity comes, you can apply.
So to some extent, that happens with LinkedIn, right? You get these reminders of what's happening with the folks that you know. Why would I come to Namesake? I mean, I think LinkedIn sort of solves this problem, at least for me. So.
LinkedIn is a great networked Rolodex. It does not match opportunities. Once in a while, you will get a message from someone saying, check something out. Our idea is to wrap structure around it, and then to use the routing, the routing is our true power. Push it across the graph. The graph is extremely dense right now and very, very powerful. So now we're going to Twitter, we're going to Facebook, and these other places are helping people match opportunities up. LinkedIn is still pretty much a siloed community.
I see more opportunities going across Twitter than I do LinkedIn.
Yes.
So what data set did you use to sort of train your routing algorithms on?
So the first thing is we do everything, we have a lot of explicit stuff and a lot of rules-based stuff, because most of it's actually pretty obvious who contacts and followers are. The algorithmic section is a custom routing algorithm that's vaguely inspired by Bayesian networks if you're into graphical models. But to say, then you have to do training over time, and part of it is active learning within our world. We've started out just with a lot of rules around keywords that then we use as basis for feedback. It will take time to train well, though.
So one suggestion for you guys is to position the company explicitly either as expertise or job searching. I think that was brought up here because if you want to bootstrap the community initially without having a social graph in the data, people need to be joining for a specific reason. And I think job searching right now might be a difficult place to start as opposed to expertise, which might be a more specific area you can draw a community.
Yeah, I think it's great that you're building out the entire platform, but identifying the use case that people can gravitate to and not ask the same question we're asking about, well, why not use LinkedIn, I think might help.
And do you see this sort of working with sort of the enterprise CRMs? I mean, I see sort of natural opportunities there.
I could certainly imagine larger companies that deal with stuff doing that over time, but I don't think that's our initial use case. I think that's something that, just like how in Twitter, it looks like microblogging, but all of a sudden people are putting customer feedback, all sorts of stuff going on there. So eventually you grow an ecosystem of things there, and I hope, and obviously founding it expects that we'll get a big enough community to start to justify those sorts of things existing, but certainly not in the early days.
What's your key criteria for a vibrant community? Like what metric do you look at?
I think obviously we're looking at engagement. We want people to come on. First off, we want to get expertise. We want them to share a link to participate in the community and build out their profile, but we're not actually focused on building out the profile per se on day one. We want you to go in, and usually most people will experience the site through someone they trust because it will be sent to them, emailed, they'll see it in their Twitter stream. And the idea is that you pull traffic away from the social networks into your place, into your site, which is Namesake. And we think that most of the people will experience it through the stream on other networks first.
Okay, that was Namesake.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bold fashion choice on the shorts.
Watch your laptop.